Welcome to Coastline Cast, an up-and-coming podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you to everyone listening. My name is Tyler. Welcome to Coastline Cast. This will be the first episode of this podcast. For this first episode, it'll just be me. Hopefully in the future we can have some guests, but who knows. If this format works, we may just leave it be. Excuse me, sorry about that. But, yeah. If I seem to, fumble my words, stutter, or repeat myself, I do apologize. I'm using this as kind of, honestly, experiment to see just how long I can talk. So this first episode will be probably a bunch of nonsense, but we'll just have to see where it goes. I'm a college student, so doing things like presenting in front of class, or I wouldn't say so much public speaking. Well, I mean, I guess it is technically, but more so just talking in class for presentations and stuff. I've gotten somewhat good at that, but still need to work on it. So this will either go really well or really bad, and I don't feel like there's much of an in between. But I'll try not to repeat myself. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Tyler. I am 21 years of age now, and as of now, I'm a junior in college. I'll be looking into a job, I want to say in a year or so. The college I currently attend as a work-to-study program, so I work here at the college, but that won't be lasting much longer considering I'm a junior. So the things I'll be looking into working in the fitness industry, or we'll just see where it takes us. My degree will be in human and health performance, kind of like kinesiology, but slightly different, more broad, honestly. So we will see where that takes us, just following along with that college but let's get off the college subject. Let's get into something a little interesting. Something I've seen that does really well online is finance or stocks or business. I guess I think one of YouTube's biggest trending topics is how to make money, which I can kind of understand considering economy not doing too well right now, at least in the US, for sure. But I don't mind to talk about some of the things I've done to earn a little bit of money in the stock market. So we'll start with that. First, I will admit I invest with Robinhood, the app, which could be worse, but it also could be better. There was the whole, I think it was about 2 years ago this time, with the GameStop squeeze, that Robinhood had halted trading of that stock, which at first it seemed like that was going to cost me money, but we're all good. I did purchase GameStop stock at the time of that. However, what some of you all will not know is GameStop capped out and immediately shot down after capping out. Well, I did not sell at the top. I did, however, buy at the bottom. So, when the GameStop fell, I bought even more stocks so I could average down, have more stocks but at a lower average price. And when it did that second spike a few months after, I had sold at that point, making a little bit of money. But however, even though I did make some, I just completely reinvested it. Started trading options, made a little bit of money I bought puts on Roblox one time, and made another decent score there. However, again, every bit of money I make in stocks, I just completely use to reinvest elsewhere. I don't mind I'm basically holding all long-term stocks right now. I might trade a little bit more options later, but those are some risky plays. I would advise people to stay away from options if you don't have the money to lose, because while yes, you could make more money, you could also end up losing more and lose it all. but some stocks I have that I will be holding long term. I have Yum Center, McDonald's, Pepsi, Amazon, and I do have some cryptocurrency. I've still got Bitcoin, Ethereum. I've still got Shiba, but Shiba, and I've also got Cardano, which is ADA. Those two, I'm literally just holding for shits and giggles to see where they go. Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm kind of hoping they go back up. Bitcoin, I've bit both of those. I've lost a decent bit of money in, but that's just my own problem. The market will eventually correct, or it might get worse before it corrects, and at that point, we just average down again. It's not a loss unless you sell, boys. If you can always hold. But yeah, so for stocks, easiest thing I could say is you definitely want to look for patterns. There are certain stocks that will obviously trend somewhat similarly depending on the industry that it is in. Or another good one is looking at when companies are supposed to either report their earnings or if like they have a new release. So let's say Apple this is probably a bad example, but let's just say Apple has an earnings release coming up, and then the month after that they're releasing the new iPhone, a new product. So you could probably say it'd be a somewhat of an educated guess of a good idea to buy Apple stock, because you would think there'll be a positive earning report plus a new product. A lot of people are going to be looking into Apple. It's going to get a lot more attention. So it'll probably get some more stock buys, which means the price will go up and you can sell or hold if you think it'll keep going up. However, I must preface, I gotta say this, I am no financial advisor. Do not, I'm not telling you so much what to do as much as I am just saying what I have done or the things that I have done. I'm no professional. Don't listen to me. If you do follow exactly what I have done or have said to do, don't blame me if you lose money, because that just means I'm losing money too, here, boss. But no worries. Something else I would like to get into is bodybuilding. This is a sport that I follow heavily, very heavily. I myself, I do compete. I'm no pro. I'm an NPC. Well, I haven't even done my first NPC show. I did a show for an organization called NGA, which is National Gym Association. It was a drug-tested show in Louisville, Kentucky. I placed third in my age group, and then second in my height class for men's physique. So I'd say second in my class for my first show wasn't too bad, but we'll just have to see. The plan is to outgrow physique. I have been in a caloric surplus for a year and a half. So plan is go up to classic. We'll see how it goes. But going into classic, the Arnold Classic Ohio, we might see some of the younger guys who are competing finally start to come up, which will be very interesting going into the show. Men's Open. We have got Samson Dowda. Man's got 6 at the Olympia this past year. Very big improvements out of him. We've got Nick the Mutant Walker. He's an undeniable force within the industry. Definitely improving. Definitely his placing improving with every show. We have Sean Clarita. He's previously won a men's open show, but he's also the reigning 212 champ. One of the only people to lose an Olympia title and then get it back. He won 212, lost to Derek, and then got it back. But, I mean, I will say Derek did move up to open, so it's not like Derek was defending. But it is still impressive nonetheless. Okay, thinking back, we have Patrick Moore making the long-awaited comeback to the stage. If I'm not mistaken, he took a long off-season after not placing the way he had wanted to at the show previous. Big Ramy, cannot forget Big Ramy. He's got some stem cell, potentially going to be looking better. We shall see. Who else is actually on it? We'll see. I personally have Nick winning the show, Samson second, Rami potentially third. I don't think Rami can improve anymore, even with that stem cell. In my opinion, his back looks exactly the same. He's just not crunching or going as far back when he does his back double or his back poses. So in my opinion, his back doesn't look that much different. I don't see that much. And his triceps are still an issue. But I suppose it could be always. So yeah, I've got Nick Walker winning the Arnold this year. It'll be something interesting. There are some people from the Arnold Classic Amateur, but I forget the notable names. I guess we can keep going with sports. I guess everyone saw the Super Bowl this past weekend, where the Chiefs got themselves another win. Interesting. I want to say I'm a New Orleans Saints fan, so I didn't have any sort of bet or horse in this race between the Eagles and the Chiefs. I was kind of leaning toward the Eagles just because I wanted to see someone who hasn't Patrick Mahomes did something. But, can leave that alone. Keep going with sports. NBA-wise, we saw LeBron James break the all-time scoring record. He is now first, having beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record excluding playoff points. We saw Kyrie Irving get traded to the Mavericks. Kevin Durant go to the Phoenix Suns. D'Angelo Russell and Beasley head to the Lakers. So yeah, some interesting off-season moves heading into All-Star Weekend, which I believe will be coming up not too far away. We saw the All-Star selection, I believe will be the day of the actual competition, but we saw that LeBron James will probably be a captain again, so that'll be interesting. Let's keep going with some cool sports news. UFC 285, I believe John Jones will be returning, which will be interesting. Conor McGregor is also returning for another season of The Ultimate Fighter. I believe it's Chandler he'll be coaching against. So, very exciting time in sports. A lot of things that'll get a lot of draws. So that'll be quite interesting, that in itself. Now, another little topic to talk about. Let's talk about health. If you guys don't know, I don't know if I said it earlier. If I did, I apologize, but I'm a bit of a health nut myself. Someone's health is something that I try to really look into. The human body is something that interests me. It's part of the reason I'm in this degree of work that I'm in. I want to learn about the human body physically and mentally. So going into that, let's talk about mental health. Something that I feel like it's becoming a bit more of a popular topic, which is good. That's amazing. It definitely should be much more of a popular topic. But I feel like not a lot of specifics are being said. I feel like basically people are just saying to look into mental health, take better care of yourself mentally, but they don't ever say how. I feel like something that there's two things that I think that really help. Obviously, there's a lot more than these two things that help, but these are the two that I'm personally working on as of late, and I do believe it's helped me. So I will slightly share. I'll hear from you guys too. If there is a different way that you mentally prepare or try to mentally improve, let me know. I don't mind to talk about it as well. But the things I'll be talking about is saying no. I feel like a lot of people have become entirely people pleasers, and there is nothing wrong with that. I definitely believe we should be trying to serve our community, better our community, and help out the people within our community as best we can. However, something that I feel a lot of people fall short in is realizing that if we ourselves are not in a good place mentally, it's very likely that we will not be able to improve our community as we would if we were in a good mental state. For example, if a friend asks you to help him on work, but you're in a very terrible place and you don't want to help at that moment, but you say yes, you'll perform a lackluster way, basically half-ass the work, and it'll have to be done again or improved later on. Basically, what I'm just trying to say is if you are in a bad place, the work will not be sufficient or as efficient as it should be. So some people, I think, need to learn how to say no to others when they are asking for help, or when it's not your day. Everyone has days where it ain't it. So if you're having one of those days and you genuinely, it would better you to say no to doing something or helping, it's okay to do that. Because the next time you go to help, you'll be in a better place mentally, therefore the quality of work will be done better as well. Now, I'm not saying make a habit out of saying no. There are times when you need to do something and you don't want to do it. But there's also times where you don't have to do it in that exact moment. So I'm just saying pick your battles, know when to say no. There's times to say no, and there's times to do things when you don't want to, and there's times to do things when you do want to. It's just learning yourself and learning when you do need to say no. And another little thing, kind of going along with that, following the thought of others, is not caring as much about others' opinions. This is a huge thing that I feel a lot of people are starting to get self-conscious about or insecure about. And I myself have dealt with this in the past, and I'm not saying completely throw out others' opinions, because again, you're trying to help your community. You do want to hear their opinions about what could be better. However, there are certain topics, for example, yourself, how you feel, where other people's opinions will not matter. If I'm in the gym and someone's staring, or someone says anything if anyone Instagram comments makes, I guess, a rude comment, if they're not close to you, if their opinion, if you would be no different having not heard their opinion, don't listen. If someone's close to you and they're giving you honest advice, honest thoughts, honest criticism, critique you can work with, sure, take it into account, don't get butthurt. But if someone is basically hating just to hate, completely dismiss it. That's easier said than done. There's times where it's going to get overwhelming and you're going to want to listen, but there's also times where if you sit back and really think, does this affect me whatsoever? The answer is no. Throw that shit out. Alright? Now, another little thing I'd like to talk about, completely changing topics. I do kind of apologize. I'm all over the place. I have little notes written down. I wasn't sure if doing this podcast completely off the dome would be the way to do it, or writing notes. So I wrote little talking things to try to, I guess, reel it in if I felt like I was going overboard a little too much, talking too much. And something I'd like to talk about is the nature of this podcast. Because you guys just know the name Coastline Cast. You don't know where it's come from, what's behind this podcast, anything like that. So, I own a little, small, local business here in Kentucky. I have an energy supplement known as Coastline Labz. With Coastline Labz, we produce, like I said, an energy supplement. For me, this replaces my morning coffee. It just gives me energy. There's not much of a crash. It's good, clean energy from caffeine and amino acids, so that's good. The only artificial anything in there is there's a bit of sucralose, which is an artificial sweetener to make it taste a bit better, and then there is some artificial food coloring to make the powder and the drink itself red when you mix it. So everything else, there is caffeine and then some amino acids. So trying to take a more dynamic and clean approach to the formula. It could, I get this question a lot, it could be used as a pre-workout, but the sole purpose of the powder is to give you some extra energy when you need it. So, you could take it before studying because it does help focus. I've got, formula is good for energy, focus, and blood flow, and hydration, obviously. You can take it before studying. I've taken it before class, and honestly, I think it improved my, well-being or state through the class. And then we only have the one product. It's called Thermavit. And it's also fruit punch flavor, but we are looking to do more in the future. But I will not make this entire section an ad. That's not the point of this. The entire point is to kind of just explain where the idea for the podcast came from, and then basically, as I was saying, the name Coastline Labz came from Coastline Labz, which is a business where I run as the sole trader. Again, this won't be a big ad. I just wanted to mention the business. I won't even talk about how sales are doing or deals, just mainly the backstory and some decisions behind, like the decisions surrounding the business. So, for even the podcast, how it kind of started was me wanting to, I had a little bit of extra cash at the time, and by a little bit I mean a decent bit, and I wanted to see about getting a clean energy supplement for the community around me. While I will say it could go better, I'm very grateful for the position I am in with it, so that I'm happy with. So, that being said, I'd like to thank anyone who's still listening or going on with this podcast. This first episode has honestly sounded a lot like myself just rambling on, and I do apologize for that. I need to work on a better structure for these episodes, but at the same time, the current algorithm of most social media promotes consistency of uploading, so I will try to get a regular schedule for these podcasts. I'd like to do one a week, but we'll see how it goes. This is me recording the first episode, and it's kind of all over the place, but let's hope for the second episode I get a bit more structure and a bit more comfortability with this. I will be honest, I don't mind just straight talking, like going off the dome. Like I said earlier, college student presentations, they happen. So that is, I guess, interesting. I'm just trying to get into the habit of being able to talk coherently for long periods of time. So, as I get more experience with this podcast, I hope to be able to, I guess, provide a more entertaining and quality sound for you to listen to. As of now, though, I'll be honest, I'm hitting